teaching boys to communicate like boys, otherwise known as not sounding like you walked out of a social skills group. What's the problem with all of these scenarios? Josh, a 6-year-old, goes up to a group of boys playing in his classroom and says, "May I join you?" Tyler, a 13-year-old, gives a boy in his grade a compliment about his clothing. The boy becomes embarrassed and is verbally aggressive towards Tyler. Ethan, a 15-year-old, meets another 15-year-old boy and starts a conversation by asking, "What are your hobbies?" Frank, a 12-year-old, greets another boy in his class by saying, "Hi Mike, how is your day going?" Here's the problem with those scenarios. This is not how boys communicate with each other, and this is what boys are being taught in social skills groups, both inside of school and outside of school. They're learning overly formal etiquette that is not appropriate for their age or gender. They're learning to not adhere to the hidden rules in male-male social communication. And they're learning how to communicate like adult women instead of their similar age male peers. Most importantly, they're not learning how to be relatable to other boys their age. The problem with how social skills are being taught: there are no standards or criteria for what qualifies somebody to teach social skills. Anybody can run a social skills group. Parents don't know what questions to ask social skills providers. Most social skills instruction is teaching scripted, socially appropriate behaviors or teaches behavior modification to elicit socially acceptable responses. It's not teaching how to think socially about similar age boys. And boys with social learning challenges are often grouped together regardless of their particular social learning needs or cognitive ability. I use the term social learning challenges frequently, and I want to explain what that means. A social learning challenge is when someone does not learn social information intuitively. They're born with weak social observational skills, which is a form of executive functioning. And often, but not always, this is the result of ADHD, language-based learning disabilities, Asperger's syndrome, or higher verbal autism spectrum diagnoses. And one myth that I really want to clear up is that social skills do not simply improve by being around peers with more developed social skills. So a lot of times in IEPs, or I'll hear parents say things like, "I want my son to be around kids who are good peer role models." Well, in theory, if peer modeling worked and helped kids to improve social skills, then I would think that nobody would have social learning challenges beyond 5th grade, because at that point, kids have been together for so long. So the point is that you cannot improve your social competency simply by being around kids who have more developed social skills. The vast majority of kids who are in social skills groups are boys, and the vast majority of people who teach social skills are women who understandably never experience being part of a male peer group. In order to learn how to be relatable, boys need to fully understand how boys relate to each other, both in terms of their language, the way they show affection for each other, and they need to understand these hidden rules of male-male social communication. Women can absolutely learn to teach this, but most people who teach social skills are teaching scripted, socially appropriate behaviors. They're not teaching how to relate socially to similar age, same gender peers. What led me to this presentation was the fact that many boys I've worked with, and still work with, attended social skills groups, often for years, where they were taught to initiate conversations and communicate in ways that were not organic to the way boys socially communicate with each other. They knew how to sound very polite with adults. They sounded awkward and unrelatable to their similar age male peers. And they had difficulty understanding when other boys were trying to befriend them, because they were taught that if somebody teases you, calls you a name, etc., that they are bullying you, when in reality, this is often done between boys as a display of affection or to show another boy that you're interested in being friends with them. So a quick note is that this work is not about teaching, reinforcing, or adhering to gender stereotypes. Rather, it's about teaching boys with social learning challenges how to authentically relate to their male peers. I want to explain quickly about the male-male social communication template, which is essentially the way that boys communicate socially with each other. So boys can be part of a social group with saying very little. Those who have slow processing or language delays can be socially successful if they understand what they're supposed to do in social situations and show other boys that they want to be part of a group. Formal greetings are not necessary between boys. Entering a group with a nod or a 2-word greeting or making a statement is totally acceptable. Some other hidden rules in the male-male social communication template include Boys rarely compliment each other and never in front of other boys except for a few specific topics, typically related to athletic achievement or doing something funny. Consistent eye contact would be unexpected. Boys can have full conversations without looking at each other for the most part. Lulls in conversations are acceptable, as are periods without talking when there is a shared distraction, such as they're watching a YouTube video, a sporting event, or playing a video game. And boys rarely use I statements when talking about their feelings with other boys. I use this visual here to teach the boys I work with how friendships evolve between boys, because it is different for boys than it is for girls. And one thing I want you to notice here, at the very bottom of the pyramid, in the same category as stranger, is gaming friend. The reason that's there is because a lot of the boys I work with will tell their parents, I have friends, they're on Xbox, or my friends are who I game with online, when in reality, they've often don't know a thing about these individuals who they game with, and their context of their conversations is often limited just to the game. And what I believe we need to teach kids is a friend is somebody who you put the effort into spending time with in real life. Some of the things we have to do to help boys understand how to relate to other boys is we have to use visual language to help them think about what does it look like if somebody likes hanging around with you. Because for boys with social learning challenges, they have difficulty with perspective taking, meaning they have difficulty understanding others' thoughts, feelings, and intentions, and they have difficulty understanding how they come across to others. The other thing I'll ask kids is, do you think there's kids who have tried to be your friend, but you didn't pick up that they were trying to show you that they wanted to be friends? Because I have seen firsthand a lot of examples when kids have tried to befriend other kids, and those with social learning challenges weren't picking up on it at all because, again, they have difficulty understanding other boys' intentions. So that has to be explicitly pointed out to them, but we also have to get them to start thinking about it so they can begin to conceptualize it in their head themselves. Another thing that I teach is discerning between friendly and mean teasing and sarcasm. Mean teasing is done by somebody who doesn't know you well and wants to make a joke at your expense or embarrass you, whereas friendly teasing is when another boy calls you a nickname or teases you, but also makes an effort to be around you and talk to you. I have often seen that a lot of times adults misinterpret boys' intentions of trying to be friendly when they do this friendly, name-calling, teasing, and it's done with the intention of being affectionate or showing another boy that they want to be friends. So we have to teach kids how to discern the difference between the two, because again, if you have trouble with understanding others' intentions, you're going to have trouble understanding when somebody is being warm towards you. If you found the information here helpful, I encourage you to go to my website, socialskillsforboys.com, where I'll soon be releasing an online course for parents to help them teach their sons how to cultivate authentic friendships with similar age boys. You can go to the website and add yourself to our mailing list, and when the course is released, you will receive an early registration discount code. If you like this video, please click like below, please subscribe, and please stay tuned for more videos coming soon. I'm Ryan Wexelblatt, and this is Social Skills for Boys.